That's hilarious. It's like all the fish are hungry right now and they're just like, are you gonna feed us or not? Hey, my name is Adriana, also known as Black Girl Writing, and on this channel we are on the journey to becoming published. So in today's video, you can tell by the title, it's going to be a writing vlog. I actually wanted to get a lot of stuff done in this video. We'll see if it happens. I plan on cooking dinner for the fiance and I at like 4, and it's already like 2:07, so we'll see what happens. So the main things that I want to get done in this video is to catch you guys up on what's been happening lately since my last video posted, which really hasn't been much. I've been doing a lot of world building, but I also had like a mini midlife crisis, which I will probably talk about a little bit later on in the video, just about like my fears of being like an aspiring like author / writer. And it kind of came to me like out of nowhere last week, and I was just like, dang, like you've been writing this thing for like, or you've been preparing this novel for like 2 months and you still haven't like written the first chapter. And that's what we're actually going to do today. And you guys know I use plottr, so there's actually some templates in the actual like chapters that I didn't know about that I will be showing you guys later on. Doing some brainstorming, I added 2 new side characters that I feel are going to, you know, add to the plot. I added a character, his name is Mandela Gade or something. His first name is Mandela, and he is going to be the running opponent to Iberi, who is the current minor king. The whole start of my novel is the re-election time and shit's just happening, and I'm like, oh, Iberi kind of needs someone to run against him to make this a little bit more interesting, right? Even though it's not really about him, but you know, I gotta add more people. And then I also added another character who is Mr. Neighbor, who I don't know his name yet, but his backstory is he was the last person to see Fanta's father alive before he kind of like disappeared. And starting off in this first chapter that I'm going to write, which I'm going to give you guys like low-key, it's going to be like spoilers and all that stuff with the first chapter. So she believes that he has something to do with it, so she's kind of like spying on my man and all that stuff, and he's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, but I'm going to give you guys more deets about that a little bit. So while I am outside now, what I wanted to do, I want to show you guys my new like pencil case that I got. Isn't it so cute? I don't know, I was watching some YouTubers and they were like, take a tour of my pencil bag, and I was like, oh, I need one. So I got me one, and this is honestly really nice. Instead of lugging around like my actual my writer's bag, because it's like really hot outside, I was like, let me just get my nice little pencil case that I just got, put my highlighters and stuff in there, and let's go outside. The dog is over here. No, you want to be in the video? Come here, you want to be in the video? Come here. You want to be in the video? No, it's like 85 degrees. She's like, I ain't trying to fucking move. I'm over here wearing this like black shirt, so I'm over here melting in the sun. But I really wanted to like write outside and do again more plotting and my happy planner, because let me tell y'all, plotting is my bag. Okay, I didn't think you wanted to be in the video. Hey, say hi. Say cheese. Oh, oh, God. Oh, okay. Damn, girl, you moving the damn furniture and shit. Can't have nothing nice in this damn house, right? I can't have nothing nice in this damn house because of you moving the furniture. Anyway, oh, it's really hot. You might have to sit somewhere. You might have to sit somewhere. Okay. Anyway, let me show Nala that I love her. So I wanted to plot some more world building stuff in my planner just for right now, for about like 10-15 minutes, because you don't know, I just came from like a car trip. I went to West Virginia for a weekend and then came back. And while I was driving in the car, I was like, oh my God, I'm coming up with more like ideas. And like I said, oh, don't knock over my tripod. I can't do, I wanted to film and be real cute with you, but you're just making it fucking difficult, bro. I love you so much, but you make filming difficult. And your claws are so dirty. Were you digging in the mud? Oh my God, Nala. Girl. Okay. Long story short, I came up some more ideas with world building, and I just wanted to make it more concrete, because the things that are happening in my story, the things that are happening in my story, I just want to make it feel more real and what's the word, like follow through, flow in order. Like I said, people have become manifestors because of a certain reason, like the emotional trauma, right? And it will all make sense. I swear it will all make sense. I don't want to give off like too much, but I thought of the main point. The main point, I guess, is when things started to change for the people in the city of Kamar, and how they kind of got, you know, separated and all that freaking jazz while driving in the car. And I wanted to like write it out with you guys, just brainstorm, you know, have a nice little video. And yeah, so we're gonna get into it. I feel like I have just talked way too much. I don't know, hopefully I explained myself right. Damn dog moving the furniture. We got new patio furniture too, so that's my life update. Any other life update I have? Oh, wedding is 30, oh fuck, that's a lie. Wedding is 47 days and counting now, so it's getting real, y'all, but we're not gonna let this distract us from our goal, which is right here. So yeah, I'm gonna do some writing. Y'all can write along with me. Like I said, world building is like my bag. I love it. So yeah. So we have transitioned and we're back in the house now, obviously. I was able to get all the stuff that I was thinking about in my head out on here, and it just has everything to do pertaining to the Capitol, the incident that happened before in Ramel, Iberi, and Solomon's childhood. Their generation is what the parents' generations were the ones that kind of became the manifestors. Okay, so I just wanted to get some of that stuff out of my head. And so now I want to talk to you guys quickly about my little fears that I have as an aspiring author, just because I I think I was able to pinpoint why it's taking me so long to actually start like writing out the chapters. Like, I know brainstorming and world building is my bag, and that's what I'm most comfortable in, but even still, I just haven't gotten myself the actual push to start writing it in like formal chapters and all that. And then I kind of broke it down to like 3 things. One was, I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to get my message across that I feel that I'm trying to write, or the point I'm trying to prove in my book. I don't necessarily, well, I fear I won't necessarily be able to do it and give it justice, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's one thing that's just keeping me from starting to actually write, because when I explain my story to like my fiance and like some of my family members, I tell them I'm like interested in writing. It's not a lot, but it's like a few. And so when I tell them my ideas and what I'm trying to get across, it's like they're like, yeah, I get it, but I don't get it. So I feel like maybe I just haven't dove deep enough yet to figure out what I'm really trying to say or do. Hindsight now, I feel like I know it's emotional trauma. This is a story about emotional trauma and the things that have happened because of that, right? I feel like that's the broad scope, and what certain people do in this world is based off of the emotional trauma that's happened to them, or their parents, or the generation before them. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So yeah, I feel like I won't be able to give this story the due justice that I feel like it deserves. The next thing that I feel like I'm a little hesitant about and nervous with writing this is that which is weird, is that I won't be able to connect with an audience. Like, I won't have an audience, which absolutely makes no sense, because where there is an author and a writer of anything, they have an audience, like a niche that will support them and will understand what they're writing. So why I have this fear that I will work so hard on this book and I won't be able to connect with the audience, and I would have wasted my time and effort, I don't know why that is bothering me. And I know it's a preposterous idea. It's preposterous. It's like, no, it's like, even when I talk to you guys about my story and the ideas I'm having, like, I'm getting positive feedback. They're like, oh, I can't wait to read this. This sounds interesting. So I know this is what people want to see me continue. So I don't know why, and my little old Abriana, she's just like, no one's gonna understand what the hell you're saying. No one will be able to connect. And I know that's false. That's false. I know it is. I know it's false. So I just have to get myself to realize that. And then, like, the last thing that I'm kind of really putting me on pause, I should say, is that I kind of fear I'm gonna be a carbon copy. And let me explain it this way. When I read books that I tend to connect with, to the point where I'm like, ooh, whatever this author did, it's working, because I'm over here thinking about this book. I want them to expand. I'm over here daydreaming about the characters, like they made it come to life. So whatever formula and verbiage and stuff that author used, I tend to immerse myself in it. Like, all of my books that I have, like, on my bookshelf up here, they're all, I would say they tend to be, like, YA, Black authors. It's not like a niche, I can say it's a little bit of a niche category, but it's something I connect with, right? And so much so to the point where I feel like I don't know my own voice yet as a writer, and I feel like I will emulate what I like, which makes sense, right? Like, if you want to create things that you were able to connect with, like, you want to also be able to do that. So I just feel a little bit hesitant that I'm not yet finding my author voice, because I'm just submerging myself in the authors that I love, and it makes me happy, and I'm in my happy place. But I need to know what's Abriana's writing style. Like, what is she, what are you trying to say? How do you do it? And it's different, because when I write my fan fictions, I don't have this problem, because the world and everything, characters all set up. So when I write my fan fiction, I'm Gucci. But since I have to create this whole entire entity of this novel myself, it has been very challenging for me to find me in the process, which I feel sounds weird, but it's legit a thing. Take a sip of my lemonade. Yeah. So anyway, those were my little fears that I feel like have been causing me to hesitate to actually start writing this bitch, because I just psych myself out. It's like I'm my own worst enemy, as we all are, and we all know we should not be, but we are. It's so easy to be your own biggest critic. I'm gonna show you guys what is on my plotter. I actually figured out how to export plottr to Scrivener. It was a little iffy at first, and it was kind of pissing me off, but I found out the way how I like for my shit to be transferred, because I feel like if I'm making the story here, I just want the documentation of it in Scrivener. It adds everything from plottr into Scrivener, but it's kind of just set up a little funky, and me being the A-type personality that I am, I just didn't like the way it looked, it flowed, and I was missing some shit, but I was able to figure that out. I might show you guys that later on in the video. But anyway, we're gonna talk about my chapters. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna write chapter 1 today, and the reason why I feel so confident about this now is because in the chapter files, in like the chapters of themselves in plottr, the chapters, the sections, they have templates in the chapters, which I didn't know about, but I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about with the proactive and the reactive chapters, and how it clicked, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is all the book is. Like, it's a proactive scene, a reactive scene, or a proactive chapter, a reactive chapter. And since that clicked in my head, some of the shit has just been flowing, like the ideas of how I'm gonna make this happen. For Fanta, more so easier than Fanta, her proactive and reactive chapters are easier than with Raj, just because, you know, I'm a girl, and I just feel like I can just make shit on the fly happen with her. With Raj, I have to be a little bit more thoughtful. Also, he has more of an anger emotional turmoil more so than Fanta, but they're dealing with their things in their own different ways. But I haven't started on what I'm gonna do for his chapter, but for her chapter, I know exactly what we're gonna do. I'm gonna talk to you guys about it. I'm gonna show you, and it's gonna be spoilers, so you guys are welcome. You guys are kind of getting the first glimpse of what the chapter is for my work in progress. I still gotta come up with a title for this thing. I kind of came up with one that I thought was pretty fucking interesting, but I'm gonna wait. Anyway, let me show y'all. Okay, guys. So now we are in my plottr file desktop thing. I don't know how I want to word it. I'd be confused. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you these templates about these proactive and reactive scenes. We're gonna start off with 4 and 6 with Fanta, because I started. Her chapter 1 would be a proactive scene, and her chapter 3 would be a reactive scene. So I'm going to show you guys how I get that. So you're going to click on the chapter. Then you're going to hit add template. Now, what's really cool with this, it explains what the proactive, reactive, and scene essentials are. And with with having this template, it's really helped me feel like I'm making the story progress. I have literally a goal, a conflict, and a setback in every other chapter that's gonna keep the story flowing. And so with the attributes to the proactive scene, your character's gonna have a goal, they're gonna have a conflict, and then they're gonna have a setback. So we're gonna hit choose, right? And so from there, we're gonna put in blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So we're gonna close that. Then for chapter 6, which will be her reactive scene, you're gonna hit a template, reactive. It goes from reaction, dilemma, decision. Choose, right, and close. Now that you guys saw my plotter, that's kind of how I'm going to be setting up Fanta and Roz's chapters for each thing. So number 1 is going to be proactive for her, and number 2 would be a proactive scene for Roz, which I haven't thought of yet. And then number 3, reactive, reactive, proactive, proactive, reactive, reactive. And I think if I time that right, by the time I get to the inciting incident, it should be a reactive chapter, which will put them into the debate, which will make it a proactive chapter where they have to make a decision. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? Okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I'm gonna be structuring my book and my chapters. So anyway, so I'm gonna give you guys a little, I would say, snippet of the first chapter. Okay, it's gonna be complete spoilers, but you know, you're welcome. I'm giving you guys a little bit spoilers of what the first chapter will entail. So the goal for Fonsa in this chapter is to eavesdrop on a certain someone who she feels has a connection with her father's like disappearance and walking out. The conflict she has is while doing so, she starts to get harassed by a group of men because, i.e., she's a 16-year-old working in a brothel. That's just bad. That's just bad, just written all over it. The setback from that is after coming to her aid, Leon, who is the owner of said brothel and, you know, who hired her on because, you know, she begged him, like, you know, just please let me work here. I need the money, which hindsight, she did need the money, but she more wanted to just follow this guy and try to get information tips because, you know, men and alcohol and women, they just start blurting out and saying anything. And so she was going to use that to her advantage and just try to find, damn. Anyway, she was just going to try to find information about what happened to her father. The conflict with that is, you know, she starts to get, you know, sexually harassed because she's a 16-year-old in a brothel and drunken men have nothing better to do, right? Right. Now we go to the setback. So Leon is the owner of said brothel. He's also like a play uncle to her. To a default, she kind of like pester him to like, please let me work here. You know, my family and I need the money, yada, yada, yada. And he's grown fond of Fonsa, like an annoying niece that he really never fucking asked for. But he has to give her this ultimatum where he's like, hey, you either stop working here or the next time shit pops off, I'm just gonna have to let bygones be bygones and shit's gonna have to happen to you because now you're making me lose money. Like, cause Leon, you know, he's defending her. He doesn't want anything bad to happen to Fonsa. He likes her. But also, when men are trying to, you know, pay for some money to get some action, and she's like, no, I'm not here for that. And then, you know, shit starts happening and they start leaving his bar. Hindsight, he's a morally great character. He's like, you know, I'm losing money. He's like, I mean, if you gonna work here and this shit happened to you, that's on you. I don't want you to work here, but you gonna bring your ass here and shit pop off, I can't help you. I have to make a profit at the end of the day. So Leon's a pretty morally great character, but he's the uncle. He's the uncle that kind of, you know, he wants her to do good, but not at the cost of his business. It's like, come on. So anyway, that's him. So that's how I have that set up. So, and it's more of a dilemma for her because she was using, you know, her job at the brothel to get close to these men so she can gather information. And now she might lose all that and that protection as well. So it's like, okay, do I still work here? And then, you know, if shit does pop off and, you know, I'm just SOL, or do I take his advice and just trying to just end my search here, because I'll probably have it where he is aware that she's trying to also use working at the brothel to get information about her father, and he'll probably be like just let it go, like just stop, just let it go. You're just barking up the wrong tree. You're gonna give yourself nothing but trouble. So yeah, that's how the first chapter is gonna start off, and we will type it today and see what happens. I know I said in a previous video that I wanted my goals for my chapters to be like 2,030 something words or 300 something words, and what I'm gonna do now, since I have this template, I'm just gonna stick with the goal, the setback, the goal, the conflict, and the setback, and just write those out, and then I'll add to it more once the bare bones of this story is fucking done. Like once the first zero draft is done and written, then I'll start adding on to the chapters. But I think I'm gonna stick to the template. It's gonna help me, you know, keep it in motion. And yeah, so that's actually what we're gonna do next. We're gonna start writing this chapter. back. It's 4 o'clock. I didn't get to finish the chapter. But you know what? I did start. I think I got a decent way through. So I'm gonna just stop right here just so I can just have dinner and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna just end this video here. I took time to pause to find the name of said neighbor that Fanta is kind of like low-key stalking. So that took up a little bit of my time, but I was able to find a name for him that I like. And so I have to kind of go back and put his name in where I have like, you know, like the question marks and placeholders. It was really killing me. I was like, okay, I need to give this man a name. I keep putting this, you know, question mark. It was killing me. So anyway, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will be back with another video real soon.